Hi, everybody. This is Saad, coming to you from Southern California. One of the great decisions or tortuous decisions that I have to make each time I take a trip is which books to bring with me, because I've got this huge personal library of books that I've yet to read, and so I just sit there for an hour or two going through all the books, getting super upset that I've yet to read them. And on this trip, the book that quote won is this one. Look at it, The Vision of the Anointed by Thomas Sowell. Now, I had seen uh, some interviews with Dr. Sowell where he talked about the vision of the Anointed, and so I was, vaguely familiar with the book, but I'd never read it, and so I started reading it yesterday at the beach. And as I tweeted yesterday when I was reading it, every single page you get to, and I'm just screaming, yes, unbelievable, exactly right. This is a book that was written, more than 25 years ago. I think it was maybe 1995. And so the, every single syllable in there is prescient to today's reality. So, and I'm only about 35 pages into it. I could have waited to actually read the whole book before I do this, but I was too excited to talk to you guys. So again, get this book. Thomas Sowell is just unbelievable. It would be a great coup if I can invite him on the show. I came close a few years ago, but it didn't happen. I think it's getting increasingly difficult to reach him. But in any case, at the start of the book, he talks about three cases: the war on poverty, sex education to children, and criminal reform. And he basically demonstrates how the anointed ones, or what I call the noble progressives, uh, are impervious to empirical evidence, right? So they have, it's a revealed truth. I mean, it's exactly the points that I've made also for many years independently, but it was so great to read them in Dr. Sowell's book, because he lays out specific examples of how once the revealed truth is set by the anointed policymaker, no amount of evidence alters them from their position. And it's just, what's beautiful about the book is that because he is describing a general phenomenon, a mindset, or to use my language, a parasitic mindset, the examples that he discusses then are just as relevant to examples today. So anyone who doesn't agree in today's context with having drag queens twerking to children is a Trump loving, incest loving, toothless bigot, because it is noble and progressive to expose children to transgender issues and transvesticism and drag queens twerking, because that makes them love is love, and no amount of evidence is going to convince the noble progressives, or the anointed ones, as Sowell would say, to move away from this position. So I can't recommend the book enough. It is unbelievable. There is a grace and dignity to Thomas Sowell that is so lacking in so many intellectuals, right? He doesn't care about ideology. He only cares about data. I did a Sad Truth clip a while ago where I talked, I think it was like 10 reasons why you should love Thomas Sowell. And in reading this book, I mean, I woke up this morning and I was just excited because, hey, I've got a Thomas Sowell book that I have to read, that I have to finish. So, highly recommended. Check it out. Yesterday I posted a tweet where I said, imagine if the West were run by people with the intellectual class of Thomas Sowell rather than AOC and Gavin Newsom and the Prime Minister in New Zealand. Her name escapes me now, Jacinda, whatever, or Justin Trudeau or Macron, right? Professional technocrats, professional politicians who are parasitic, who've never accomplished anything in their lives, literally nothing. But they quickly realize that the way by which they can parasitize their existence is to become politicians. Imagine if you went to an era where, a long gone era, where politicians had successful careers, as surgeons and as lawyers and as businessmen and as all sorts of other things. Then they went into public service and then returned to their professions. Or, I know some of you may not like the idea of Plato's philosopher kings. If you actually had people worthy of being leaders, true thinkers, true intellectuals, true philosophers who were leading us. So in any case, just a quick break from my time with my family to tell you the vision of the Anointed. Get it, read it, appreciate it. And I was so heartened yesterday when I posted about this book, how so many people wrote and said, I used to be a flaming liberal and progressive, and then I was exposed to Thomas Sowell's work, and he set me straight. It's a battle of ideas, and many people in their imbecilic stage of their youth have these utopian ideas. Let's all hug hands, peace through reggae, let's kumbaya and so on. But any policy that is contrary to human nature will fail. Now, in the book that I'm reading now by Sowell, I don't think he, as I said, I'm only 35 pages in, but he doesn't link it to evolutionary psychology. So one of the things that I've been thinking of doing is possibly writing a book where I demonstrate that across many, many domains, whether it be in commerce, whether it be in economics, in law, in public policy, whenever you institute mechanisms or policies or sell products that are contrary to human nature, they will fail because, again, you can't do things that is outside within our biological heritage. And hence, I always go back to the quote by E.O. Wilson, another great man, regarding socialism / communism. Great idea, wrong species, he said, right? So what Thomas Sowell is demonstrating in this book is that you have these erroneous views of how the world works because you are the anointed one. Your vision, your ideology supersedes reality, and therefore you're impervious to empirical falsification. You just move along. That's AOC, that's Bernie Sanders, that's Justin Trudeau, that's diversity, inclusion, and equity in universities right now. That's the Parasitic Mind. So please consider getting a copy of Thomas Sowell's book. I don't get a cut. I'm not his endorser. I'm just excited by great intellects, and he is certainly one. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.